Today we're going to see that God is surprising, so we watch for his surprises. Our Bible story is full of surprises. Our story starts in prison. Jesus had died, he'd rose again, he'd gone back to heaven, and people were talking about Jesus all the time. Some people didn't want anyone talking about Jesus. King Herod was in charge, and he didn't want people talking about Jesus either. They were arresting people who even talked about him. That's how Peter, one of Jesus's friends, ended up in jail. Peter was sleeping in a cold jail cell. He was even chained between two soldiers. The Bible tells us that Peter was kept in prison, but earnest prayer for him was made to God by the church. The people who believed in Jesus, the church, they were praying really, really hard for Peter. Here comes the big surprise. Let's see what happens. This is so cool. You're going to love it. Acts 12, 6-8. Now when Herod was about to bring him, Peter, out on that very night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with chains, and sentries before the door were guarding the prison. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood next to him, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him, saying, "Get up quickly!" And the chains fell off his hands. And the angel said to him, "Dress yourself and put on your sandals." And he did so, and he said to him, "Wrap your cloak around you and follow me." And he went out and followed him. He did not know that what was being done by the angel was real, but thought he was seeing a vision. When they had passed the first and the second guard, they came to the iron gate leading into the city. It opened for them of its own accord, and they went out and went along one street, and immediately the angel left him. When Peter came to himself, he said, "Now I am sure that the Lord has sent his angel and rescued me from the hand of Herod and from all that the Jewish people were expecting." Wow, how amazing is that? God sent an angel to free Peter from prison. At first, Peter thought it was just a dream or a vision. It took a few minutes for him to realize the surprising way God had rescued him. If something amazing happens to you, or you get some really good news, what do? Do you want to tell your family or your friends right away? I do. That's what Peter did too. Acts 12:12-17. When he realized this, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose other name was Mark, where there were many gathered together and were praying. And when he knocked at the door of the gateway, a servant girl named Rhoda came to answer. Recognizing Peter's voice, in her joy she did not open the gate, but ran in and reported that Peter was standing at the gate. They said to her, "You are out of your mind." But she kept insisting that it was so, and they kept saying, "It is his angel." But Peter continued knocking. And when they opened, they saw him and were amazed. But motioning to them with his hand to be silent, he described to them how the Lord had brought him out of prison. What was so unbelievable about what Rhoda said? Rhoda didn't open the door to see Peter, but she heard his voice and believed God had answered their prayers. But the other Christians didn't believe this surprise could be real. God is surprising, so we watch for his surprises. His surprises in this story were hard to believe. At first, Peter thought he was just dreaming, and the Christians didn't think Peter could possibly be knocking at the door. Even when God's surprises are hard to believe, we know they're real. Sometimes we're like the Christians in the Bible story. We might pray for something, but we don't really believe God could answer. Or God answers our prayers in a way we don't expect. We need to practice praying with expectation. That means praying with belief that God will answer, maybe even in a way that's more surprising than we expected. You can trust that God is surprising, so watch for his surprises this week. He might answer your prayer in a way that's even better than what you prayed for. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 3:20 that God is able to do far more abundantly than all we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. Your homework this week is to play a game with your family. Have your family sit in a row so that you can reach and draw on each other's backs. Give the person at the front of the row a piece of paper and a marker. The last person in the line will think of something to draw, like an apple or a tree or whatever. They'll use a finger to draw that item on the back of the person in front of them. The next person in line will then use a finger to draw what they feel being drawn on their back on the back of the next person in line. The person in the front of the line will then draw on their paper what they feel being drawn on their back. Check out your pictures. Does it look right, or is it surprisingly different from what the first person drew? God is surprising, so when things don't go the way we expect, we can look for the good in it and look for God in it. We can watch for God's surprises and know He always wants what's good for us. Thanks for watching, kids, and have a great week.